Good afternoon, Barnard College and distinguished guests. Welcome to Convocation and the start of a new academic year. And now, presenting the student leadership at Barnard College. Presenting the distinguished faculty of Barnard College. Presenting the trustees of Barnard College. Presenting the senior leadership of Barnard College. Presenting the president of the Alumni Association of Barnard College. Presenting the provost and the dean of Barnard College. And finally, presenting the chair of the Board of Trustees, Jolene Caruso Fitzgerald. Our keynote speaker, Carol Dweck. And President of Barnard College, Sion Bylock.
Madam President, it is my honor, in the presence of the trustees, faculty, alumni, staff, students, and distinguished guests of Barnard College, to declare this 2017 convocation ceremony now open. In recognition of the illustrious achievements and important contributions of our over 35,000 alumni, led by the chair, please join me in welcoming our alumni class officers, led by the chair of the Young Alumni Committee, Elise Vavrica, class of 2012, who's carrying the banner for our first graduating class, 1893.
Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Jolene Caruso Fitzgerald, an exceedingly proud alumna of the class of 1981 and chair of the Barnard Board of Trustees. I'm truly honored to be here today and delighted to have this opportunity to bring greetings from the board. Convocation is a tradition that celebrates the start of the academic year and is an official beginning for the class of 2021. What makes this day even more special is that it also marks the beginning of President Bylock's tenure as Barnard's 8th president. The anticipation and joy that you all feel today is equally shared by us as we embark on another exciting chapter in Barnard's great history. From the day I set foot on Barnard's campus back in 1977, I was an active and involved student. And while I was wide-eyed and unsure in those early days and weeks, as many of you may be feeling right now, I can say with certainty that my undergraduate years here have played a major role in shaping who I am today. And in part, because of that, I've remained a highly engaged alumna in the many years since. I was nominated to the Board of Trustees 17 years ago and became chair in 2010. And in this time, I've learned a great deal about the inner workings of the college. But more importantly, I have learned so much from our students, who continue to amaze me with their intelligence and fierce determination to make their mark on this world. I'm constantly inspired by our distinguished faculty, the great administrators who lead the way. And as I reflect on 4 decades that Barnard has figured in my life, I am proud to say that our mission and our place in higher education has never been as relevant and strong and bold as it is this very moment. I hope you will all join us as we work to maintain the strength of this outstanding institution in whatever ways feel most meaningful to you. I hope that you will nurture the bonds that you forge here with your classmates, with your professors, and with the administration. And I hope and believe that you will find these efforts will reap numerous benefits throughout your life, as they certainly have for me. So whether you've moved in as a first year and you're still unpacking, or you're a senior who's contemplating, questioning, and probably stressing over what life is going to be like after Barnard, please know that you all have a strong network of alums who will be here for you every stage of your life. We invite you to continue to celebrate the greatness that is Barnard for a very, very long time to come. Thank you.
I am Jyoti Menon, proud alumna of the class of 2001, president of the Alumni Association of Barnard College and Barnard trustee. It is an honor to stand before you today on behalf of the alumni seated in this majestic space and all 35,000 of us around the globe. We share a devotion to Barnard and are certain that each of you, the first-year students who are just getting your college stride, and the returning students who gain confidence and wisdom year after year, will match our love for this place if you haven't already. Welcome to the 2017-2018 academic year, to the magic of New York, and to the wonderful family that is Barnard.
Good afternoon. I'm Linda Bell, Provost and Dean of the Faculty. And on behalf of the entire Barnard faculty, I'm honored to formally welcome you, our Barnard students, as we inaugurate the new academic year. I also want to extend my warmest welcome on behalf of the faculty to our president, Sian Beilock, for her first convocation with us here this afternoon. President Beilock, we are very excited to have you here. Each fall at convocation, we pay tribute to tradition as we celebrate the greatness of the Academy and mark the beginning of the academic year for all 4 classes gathered here with us today. Just as commencement signals the conclusion of study for those students who have completed their requirements and are poised to receive a degree. Both ceremonies are markers of the passing of time, of the cycle of learning, and of the significance of the academic enterprise in which faculty and students are true partners. These are 2 of my favorite occasions. They both sparkle with Barnard spirit, draw generations together, and give us a unique opportunity to reflect on what a Barnard education means in the world. Nelson Mandela famously said, "Education is the most powerful weapon to change the world." At this particular moment in history, it seems short-sighted, almost irresponsible to focus exclusively on what we do at Barnard. We live in troubled, even dangerous times. Outside our gates is a complex country and world divided too often by actions that threaten civil society and the progress of human rights, just as surely as they reveal bias, deceit, and disrespect. It's a world in the midst of rapid technological advances that bring with them great challenges and opportunities, a changing job landscape demanding new competencies and fluencies, new ways of communicating and acquiring information, new scientific discoveries altering what we know about our environment, our bodies, our universe, and the promise of yet unimaginable shifts in the way we structure and in the way we live our lives. I know it sounds daunting, but your Barnard education will help you navigate it all. It has been thoughtfully framed to teach you to think critically about the world around you, and crafted yet to be flexible to changing requirements and needs. And the truly amazing Barnard faculty who teach you, renowned scholars, dedicated teachers, members of the National Academy, Guggenheim Award winners, Pulitzer Prize winners, Carnegie Foundation Fellows, recipients of prestigious grants from the National Endowment for the Humanities, the National Science Foundation, the National Institutes of Health. They serve as examples of active citizens and thought leaders whose ideas are shaping what we know about the world and the direction it is taking. They are here for you, and they are dedicated to your learning. As you begin this academic year, your first or your last, or somewhere in between, embrace your Barnard education and take active responsibility for the world that you will soon inherit. Be a sponge, learn, grow, reshape. I am reminded of words from Maya Angelou that I have long found compelling and that I will paraphrase quite liberally here. That the beauty of a butterfly is derived from the fact that it must evolve and change throughout the course of its very brief lifetime. For those of us who accept that knowledge is infinite, change is inevitable. Reach beyond what you learn in the classroom, develop the skills to question with rigor and with authority, and the flexibility to adopt and change. For who you are today should inform, but in no way limit, who you become tomorrow. I am truly excited for each of your individual journeys, and together with the faculty, committed to providing every opportunity for your success as we begin yet a new academic year. May it be a magnificent year for each and every one of you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Angela Beam. I am the president of SGA, Barnard Student Government Association. I am so excited to be here today to help kick off Barnard's 128th academic year. First off, it's my honor to welcome President Beilock to Barnard on behalf of SGA. President Beilock is many things: a cognitive scientist, a former, though duly noted, member of the Olympic training program for soccer, a champion of women in STEM, an educator, and now, our fearless leader. Under our new president's leadership, we hope Barnard will set an example for institutions across the globe by consistently speaking up for what is right, by taking action when necessary, and by remembering our identity as a women's college as we lift up those of non-dominant identities. President Beilock, we welcome you with open arms and cannot wait to see where you take Barnard. As we come together to begin yet another academic year, now is the time to become more engaged on campus. Barnard values student voices and is responsive to thoughtful recommendations. By adding your voice to campus conversations, you'll be contributing to the effort to maximize the positivity of both student experiences at Barnard, as well as the college's impact beyond the gates. Take the student group, Divest Barnard, for example. Last March, as a result of their 3-year-long student-led campaign, the Board of Trustees voted in favor of Barnard's divestment from coal, tar sands, and fossil fuel companies that deny the climate crisis. This historic decision made Barnard the first institution to divest from climate change deniers. Pretty incredible. Perhaps even more remarkable is that Barnard's Divest movement was started by, relentlessly championed, and driven by students. Upon Divest Barnard's passionate appeal, members of all facets of the Barnard community, students, faculty, staff, and trustees, joined together on the task force on divestment to help Barnard take a definitive and empowering stand on our commitment to social responsibility. Change can also happen in smaller steps. For example, I'm particularly proud of SGA's work to combat food insecurity on campus. Over the past year, we continued to support the Meal Points donation program, helped to sponsor the Columbia University Food Bank, and even worked with dining services to add additional guest wipes to all Barnard meal plans. In May, we put together internship starter packs, which included a gift card for groceries and a thermos, among other necessities such as a Barnard laundry card, detergent, feminine hygiene products, and a Metro card. We hope to continue diminishing the presence of food insecurity on campus and aim to take more strident steps towards ensuring all students are on an equal playing field. Although these positive contributions to Barnard and beyond were certainly student-driven, our missions were facilitated by the Barnard administration and faculty's efforts to foster a space in which student voices are not only heard, but also acted upon. I hope you'll join me in giving back to Barnard by continuing to advocate for improvements and necessary change as you see fit. And if you're looking for a starting point, I encourage you to engage with SGA. Come to our meetings every Monday at 8 p.m. in the McIntosh dining room. We begin each meeting with an open floor. Anyone can stop by, share their thoughts, concerns, ideas, and feedback. Your group can request a student body vote, known as a referendum, lobby for a statement of support, or have a conversation with SGA about how we can support and advocate for you in meaningful and actionable ways. Lastly, in addition to being a place for incredible growth, Barnard also fosters enormous personal change. 2 years ago, I volunteered at Barnard's alumni reunion. Over the course of the weekend, I was assigned to escort the class of 1948. This gave me the opportunity to ask an alum who had been connected to the college for almost 4 times my lifespan what her favorite part about Barnard was. Her response? How much I grew while I was here. Today, nearly 70 years after that distinguished alum graduated, despite enormous institutional development and campus-wide progress, students continue to reflect on their time at Barnard as a period of incredible, illuminating growth. Let's all do our part, regardless of which part of the Barnard community we represent or how much time we have left here, to ensure that 70 years from now, and surely beyond that, students feel compelled to uphold the Barnard legacy and follow our footsteps in enacting positive change both on campus and in the world. Thank you.
My name is Sarah Krosnick, and I'm the chair of the Barnard Honor Board. I'm excited to lead today's recitation of the Honor Code. I ask that all current students please stand and join me in reciting the Honor Code that is printed on your program. We, the students of Barnard College, resolve to uphold the honor of the college by engaging with integrity in all of our academic pursuits. We affirm that academic integrity is the honorable creation and presentation of our own work. We acknowledge that it is our responsibility to seek clarification of proper forms of collaboration and use of academic resources in all assignments or exams. We consider academic integrity to include the use and care for all print, electronic, or other academic resources. We will respect the rights of others to engage in pursuit of learning in order to uphold our commitment to honor. We pledge to do all that is in our power to create a spirit of honesty and honor for its own sake. Thank you.
Hello, Barnard. It's such a tremendous honor to mark the start of the academic year together. I'm really awed by the moment and the magic of this beautiful place, and so very happy to be here. I want to start by acknowledging our extraordinary alumni who span decades of Barnard classes, our distinguished faculty who truly embody academic excellence, our devoted trustees who offer us endless guidance and support, and of course, the staff and administration of the college, without whom we would not run as we do. Most of all, I want to recognize you, the students. For the class of 2018, this gathering marks the start of your last year at Barnard. For the newly minted class of 2021, it's really just the beginning. And for the classes of 2019 and 2020 and our transfer students, you are well on your way. I am delighted to welcome each and every one of you. Truth be told, I find myself needing a moment to catch my breath. Here I am, standing at the podium in full Barnard regalia, inside the soaring nave of Riverside Church, as the president of Barnard College. It's really a humbling and staggering realization. The perspective from this vantage point is truly amazing. And since everything is a matter of perspective, let me help put things in context for you. On April 4th, 1967, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. stood here and delivered his speech entitled Beyond Vietnam, A Time to Break Silence. What Congressman and civil rights activist John Lewis has called the speech for all humanity. In 1972, Reverend Jesse Jackson gave the eulogy at baseball great Jackie Robinson's funeral service right here. After the attacks of 9/11, Secretary General of the United Nations, Kofi Annan, delivered an address right here. And Bill Clinton, Nelson Mandela, Arundhati Roy, Desmond Tutu, Cesar Chavez, Marian Wright Edelman have delivered words of wisdom and heart from this very same podium. I can assure you that none of this makes my breathing any easier. But it does remind us all that we are a part of history larger and greater than ourselves. According to the Barnard Archives, the earliest record of Barnard holding its own convocation was 1950. On September 27th, in the first months of the Korean War, the community gathered in what was then the Barnard Hall Gym to hear from Columbia University President Dwight D. Eisenhower, 2 years before his inauguration as President of the United States. Eisenhower began with this: "It is a pleasure to open a school year at a time when school has assumed probably its greatest importance in its meaning to the world." And Barnard Dean Millicent McIntosh, 2 years before she was named Barnard's first president, followed his remarks with this: "You have a marvelous opportunity at this moment when you as an individual may really count for something. If we choose wisely and make our lives work for the kind of civilization America stands for, we shall be winning the battle." Their powerful words are as apt today as they were 67 years ago. So we come together on this remarkable September afternoon to celebrate the start of academic year and to affirm our responsibility as a community to really count for something. It's a tall order, but then again, this is Barnard. In a few short months, I've seen Barnard's dedication and conviction in action. As I've spent time with faculty, worked with my colleagues, traveled around to meet with alumni, and now that you, the students, have come back to campus, I know my first impressions will be confirmed. Barnard is a place where we strive for academic excellence, a diversity of viewpoints, and an open exchange of ideas, where a bold approach to education permeates all aspects of campus life. This is the college that I'm coming to know, and this is the college that I am prepared to lead. And this is certainly an interesting moment in history to step into this role. I'm stepping onto a path that 11 extraordinary women, the deans and presidents who came before me, so masterfully paved. Barnard in 2017 is in many ways not Millicent McIntosh's Barnard, but in one of the most vital ways, what lies at the heart of the college remains the same. The liberal arts have always defined Barnard, and the liberal arts, I will argue, are more important than ever today. At this moment, I'm looking out on a sea of Barnard students wearing their class colors and ready to take on the challenges ahead. And what I already know about you is this: you are motivated and curious, and you have come to Barnard to make the most of what you already possess and to build a life that matters. And we're here to help you do that. Through the lens of the liberal arts, you are going to be freeing your mind, liberating it, if you will, from a more compartmentalized way of viewing the world. You can take risks and make connections. You can think critically and cross disciplinary boundaries. You can engage in difficult dialogue and debate and consider multiple perspectives. And you can openly pursue knowledge for its own sake, not as a means to an end. These are essential skills today and always, but definitely today. The Barnard faculty, I can tell you, is dedicated to this approach to learning. The curriculum supports it, and the country and our world desperately need it. Open any great work of literature, for example. You will enter the characters' lives, and at some point in the story, you will empathize. When you're asked to put your thoughts into writing, and I don't mean just 140 characters, You will deepen your understanding of those thoughts and you will be able to share them with others. In any history class, ranging from medieval to 20th century to ancient Greek or otherwise, you will explore the impact of culture and ideas on civilization. And in the social sciences, you will come to know human behavior. In the visual and performing arts, you will see the power of creativity is boundless and touches our deepest humanity. And in the sciences, technology, engineering, and math, the STEM field, in which over a third of you at Barnard will likely major, like all of the fields you encounter, you will learn to ask questions, find answers, and back up those answers with evidence. Even once in a while, you will learn to change your mind. A Barnard education will give you all of this, the ability to empathize and connect, an openness to opposing views and new ideas, an insistence that some things really can be proven. And in this time of great national divisiveness across the globe, where there is a dearth of respect for wisdom and truth, these are the qualities that can bring us together and even change the course of history. I'm a scientist, but I wouldn't be a very good one without the liberal arts education I received. Through that education, I learned how to think, how to consider alternatives, and how to change course when that made the most sense. My research on performance anxiety and trying to understand why things sometimes go wrong when the pressure is on was fueled by my classes in anthropology, sociology, history, and the visual arts. It's not just the laboratory that allowed me to do my best thinking. It has always been a much broader, more holistic view of how people behave and what makes us tick. And I imagine that, like some of us, sometimes I had to figure out how to get things right by failing. One personal story to help illustrate this point. During my first year in college, I was in the chemistry sequence for science majors, and I definitely didn't feel like I fit in. The first midterm exam came along, and even though I'd prepared for the test, I bombed it. In a class of 400 students or so, I got the worst grade in the class. The worst. I remember seeing this grade when it was posted on the wall. That's how grades used to be posted. And I thought, I have to drop out of college. That's it, I'm not gonna make it. But then I started studying in a group where at the end of the study session, we closed our books, we put away our notes, and we actually competed with each other for the right answer. If you could have looked inside my head during that first midterm exam, you likely would have seen a neural pain response, similar to the response that I see in my human subjects when they're feeling immense pressure or test anxiety. But when I took that final, after practicing under stress, my mind was quiet, and let's just say I got a much better grade. It wasn't just about learning the material, it was learning how to overcome my limits when it mattered most. I was learning how to learn and how to show what I knew when it counted. At Barnard, it is my hope and my best guess that you will find the freedom to explore your interests and your passions, and that you will discover new ones in the process. We are eager to give you the most up-to-date version of what this college is giving and has always given its students, an excellent liberal arts education. And with it, we will give you the tools you need to advocate for your own knowledge and experiences. When Millicent McIntosh said, "You have a marvelous opportunity at this moment when you as an individual may really count for something," she must have had a premonition about the Barnard classes to come. I have no doubt that you will really count for something and that you will succeed, whatever success means to you and whatever path you choose to do it on, and I look forward to watching it unfold. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be a part of this incredible journey. And now it's truly a tremendous honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Dr. Carol Dweck. Carol graduated from Barnard in 1967 and earned a PhD from Yale University in 1972. She's currently the Lewis and Virginia Eaton Professor of Psychology at Stanford University and one of the world's leading researchers in the field of motivation. I think it's just leading, I don't think it's one of. She's also a member of the National Academy of Sciences, one of the highest honor to be bestowed on scientists in her field. Her research is focused on how to foster success, how to motivate children and adults to learn at their best, and given the overlap in my research interests and her area, I've asked her questions across the years, and she's always been welcome to engage me. She's always been a true inspiration. Carol has held professorships at Columbia and Harvard and has lectured all over the world. Her signature book is called Mindset: The New Psychology of Success, and her work has been featured everywhere, in a TED Talk, major publications, the New York Times, New Yorker, Times, the Washington Post, the Boston Globe, you name it. I'm so pleased to welcome her back to Barnard. Please join me in welcoming Carol.
Congratulations, President Bylock, and congratulations to Barnard for choosing her. 1963, the year I entered Barnard, was extraordinary. Why? Because Martin Luther King delivered his immortal "I Have a Dream" speech on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. Maybe Riverside Church was booked that day. Betty Friedan published her book, The Feminine Mystique, the expose, the manifesto that sparked the modern women's movement. And Nobel laureate Bob Dylan burst on the scene with his first hit album, singing songs of freedom and equality, of answers that were blowing in the wind. But it was also a time of continued conflict and turmoil. The Vietnam War suddenly escalated. There was continued racial tension and violence. And in November of my freshman year, President Kennedy was assassinated. It's as clear in my mind as if it was yesterday. I was deeply affected by all these events. Who wouldn't be? But fresh out of high school, I was not yet part of that world, the real world. I was an onlooker. I didn't have passions, a mission, or even well-formed opinions. Barnard helped to change that. Great people, great events, great institutions transform the way we look at things. Barnard did that for me and my classmates. First, Barnard gave us not just knowledge, but tools to understand our world, whether it was the tools of literary analysis, historical political analysis, or scientific analysis, all of which I grew to love. The whole idea of training your mind to penetrate the secrets of the world was thrilling. These tools were the greatest gifts I have ever received. Barnard gave us values, respect for the core values of freedom, equality, justice, rights, and not least, our own rights to learn, to grow, to become someone. And Barnard gave us permission to become someone, to look ahead to a life of contribution and influence, a sense that even if many doors were not yet open to us, they were there for us to open. Make no mistake, I was still a naive, pretty clueless adolescent, lacking a mission or well-formed opinions, but armed with these tools, values, and inspiration. I majored in psychology, and not long after that in graduate school, I launched the program of research I continue to this day. It's a program of research about human potential and about how to maximize it for everyone. In our research, my students, colleagues, and I have shown that people can have different mindsets about talents, ability, intelligence. For example, you can think of your intelligence as a fixed trait. You have a certain amount, and that's it. That's a fixed mindset, and it makes you worry all the time about just how much you really have. Or you can think of your intelligence as a quality that can be developed. This is a growth mindset. A growth mindset doesn't mean that everyone's the same or everyone can be Marie Curie, but it does mean that everyone can develop their abilities through dedication, good strategies, and lots and lots and lots of mentoring. In our research, we see that students who hold a growth mindset about their intelligence tend to seek more challenges, show more resilience, and often achieve more in the face of difficulty. We've shown that workshops that teach students a growth mindset can raise their achievement, particularly for vulnerable students. We've shown that praising intelligence, telling kids they're smart, can backfire. It creates a fixed mindset and makes them afraid of challenges and setbacks. In another sphere, our research has shown that prejudice and aggression can stem from believing people lack or groups lack the capacity to grow and change. We've shown that even in areas of conflict around the globe, focusing the two adversaries on people's and growth and groups' potential for change can make those on both sides more willing to explore paths to peace. I wanted this idea, the idea that abilities and personal qualities in general can be developed. I wanted this idea to inspire people to reach beyond what they would otherwise have reached for. In fact, over time I came to realize that were it not for that idea, I never would have reached for what I reached for. You see, I grew up in an era that was obsessed with IQ. My 6th grade teacher seated us around the room in IQ order. And from that moment on, my primary goal in life was to be smart. Not to learn, reach, grow, or contribute, but to be smart, and above all, to be known as smart. Welcome to the fixed mindset. Many of you here today have grown up with similar pressures. Maybe your job in high school was to get the highest grades and highest test scores so you could get into a great school. All right, you did it. You got those grades and test scores, and here you are. But I tell you now, that is not your job anymore. Of course you want to do well, but please know that getting A's is not your main job here. Your job is to use the tremendous resources of this great college and university to become the person you want to be. The person who, over time, will make your unique contribution to the world and its people. As you embark on your process of becoming that person, use the growth mindset right from the start. Understand that you are here to grow. If that little fixed mindset voice in your head, and believe me, we all have it somewhere, starts whispering, "You're not as smart as the others. Don't take that hard course. You might not do well." Well, thank it for its well-meant advice, but ask it to support you as you do take that course. What if you don't do so well in the course? Understand that college is something you learn to do over time. Ask for help. And recognize that many of the confident-looking students, I was one of them, confident-looking, are struggling too. Each fall, I teach a freshman seminar at Stanford. 16 brand new students, thrilled and deeply terrified. Every 2 weeks, I go around the seminar table and ask each student, what are you struggling with? What are you afraid of? Some confess that they are hopelessly lost in a course, even failing. Some share that they haven't made any friends. Almost everyone worries about making public mistakes and everyone worries about that and thinks it will mean they don't belong there. But just hearing their fears and struggles are shared and seeing how eager their fellow students are to jump in and help them, join our study group, come out with us this weekend, is a revelation to them. Then, several weeks into the term, I give them an assignment. Do something outrageously growth mindset. Something way, way, way out of your comfort zone, but something truly meaningful, something the person you want to be would do. And write me an essay about it, due next Monday. Can it be something I already did? They always ask. Absolutely not, I always reply. And then they do the most spectacular things. One young woman was devastated when she was passed over for an editorial post on the school newspaper in favor of her roommate. For her assignment, bold but terrified, she contacted the newspaper and asked if they had another writing job for her. They did. One young man, painfully shy, was spending all his time alone in his room. The whole college experience was passing him by. Bold but petrified, he ran for president of his dorm and won. He became the very center of social life there. Of course, not every student meets with success on the first try, but every single one of them says they would do it again. Looking around our world today, we see it needs us as badly as it did in 1963, in some cases even more. There are problems that need our commitment. There are rights we still need to work for, maybe more than we realized. And there are conflicts, deep rifts all around us that need healing. So please keep asking yourself, who do I want to become? What role do I want to play in the world of today and tomorrow? And then think about the great resources and opportunities at Barnard that can help you slowly but surely become that person. Maybe do something outrageously growth mindset to help the process along. Thank you.
Our fabulous seniors, 2018, are you here? Oh. Our fabulous seniors who most certainly have graduation on your minds, I'd like to encourage you to give thought to your legacy on campus. What will you do this year, maybe something outrageous, that will be the highlight of your college years? To the awesome classes of 2019, hello? Yellers? The class of 2020, who are defining your college experiences with curricular exploration and co-curricular engagement. And to our newest and the most selective class in the history of the college, the Barnard class of 2021. Your presence on campus is already making a difference, and we're excited to see who you will become over the next 4 years. I welcome you all to this new academic year filled with opportunities to expand your horizons, make connections, and be more than you ever dreamed you could be. May the boldness that is so Barnard grant you the courage to speak and live your truth in these times and always. To my sister alumni, I greet you and welcome you back to the campus that influenced you in more ways than we can even count. Your presence here today speaks volumes about your love for our alma mater and is only one example to our students of how love leads to action. On behalf of our students, I thank you for being amazing role models and for paving the way for their success. May the beauty and the power that is so Barnard always inspire you to set and achieve new goals. To my faculty and staff colleagues, here's a new year in which your efforts will bring to fruition all that you imagine for the good of the college. May the bravery that is so Barnard enable you to stand for all that is just. We are Barnard, loud and proud Barnard, bold and brilliant Barnard. We are Barnard, and we are definitely ready for the academic year of 2017-2018. Thank you.
There's a college on a hilltop that's very dear to me, and a certain group of students with ties of camaraderie. So we'll sing to dear old Barnard, and loyal be and true, as we show to coming classes how we love the white and blue. There's a college on a hilltop that's very dear to me, and a certain group of students with ties of camaraderie. So sing to dear old Barnard, and loyal be and true, as we show to coming classes how we love the white and blue.
Madam President, it has been an outstanding day. I now have the distinct honor of declaring this convocation ceremony adjourned. I extend a warm invitation to each of you to return to Barnard's campus for a reception so that the academic recession may be concluded in an orderly fashion. Please remain seated until our faculty have left the seating area. So on behalf of my fellow faculty and all who hold education in the highest regard, we wish everyone much success this academic year and look forward to all that is to come. Thank you.